We're in a dark future, exactly 10 years after the creatures took over the world. Our main man Yang Feng is fighting tooth and nail to fend off the attacks. On the other hand, his sister said to Kingsley, "Don't even look back, just run and save yourself," is what they're shouting. But alas, the disgusting monster delivers a heavy kick to its stomach. Just as he's about to finish him off, his brother steps in like an angel and sacrifices himself. A steel whip is tearing the poor girl's back to pieces. "Young Fan, why did you do that, you dummy?" As he screams, it feels like his heart is being ripped out. At that exact moment, the suffering protagonist's legendary power awakens. With revenge in his eyes, he hacks off the creature's arm and head. He makes a promise to his brother as he rips out the creature's core. "I'll get you that holy water, hold on." He quickly scoops him up and rushes him to Unit 3 on his side. But as soon as he reaches the door, he witnesses a fierce fight. The strange thing is, who do you think that woman fighting was? Our guy's one and only love. When she sees young Fan in the flesh, she's so shocked she's speechless. The snob next to him smirks and says that classic villain line. "Whoa. I didn't expect to survive the level 8 boss monster." Young Fan is stunned. "How the hell do you know that beast is level 8? He roars. But his brother's painful groans interrupt the conversation. "Young Fan, we'll settle the score later. Just give me that holy water first." Is going crazy. "But why would I give it to the guy next to the girl? You're not my brother." When he starts acting like that, our naive lover takes off that mysterious ring and puts it on the table. You heard right, folks, the guy's proposing. He's playing his last card, saying, "With this, you'll live like a king and buy whatever you want. Adam, why would I trade when I can just grin and kill you to take it for free?" He says. The only thing he's sad about is that cute little sister of yours is going to die. Look at this creep. Young Fan loses it after hearing those words. He pins his brother to the wall and lunges at the guy, but the opponent is too fast and slips away smooth as butter. He leaps back and rams an energy ball into Young Fan's chest. "Did you really think you could beat me in this pathetic state, loser?" Is how they're mocking it. Just as he's about to reach for the ring on his finger, Young Fan says, "In your dreams, pal," and swallows it whole. "Enjoy your meal, my prince." His face drops. "Then I'll just rip your belly open and take it by force," he says, swinging his sword. While shouting that he'll rip it out of her, the ring in his stomach suddenly kicks in. A blinding divine light bursts from his body. Time is rewinding. And boom! The boy wakes up in his bed. He looks at the watch. There are only 3 hours left until doomsday. "Reincarnation or a dream?" she says, pinching his cheeks. Turns out that traitor boyfriend's name is Bulut, which means cloud, and that snob was already hitting on her before the system arrived. Now he's thinking, should I kill this girl, or thank her for sending me back to the past? At least thanks to this betrayal, they have a chance to change their fate. In this life, he swears to protect his family and friends at the cost of his life. And of course, he'll make those who wrong him regret it. Just as I got hyped up, boom! Someone kicks the door and bursts in. Look at these guys coming in. "Hey Cloud, aren't you ashamed to reject the boss and hang out with this loser?" Is how they're making threats. "We're here to break your legs," they say, crowding into the room. Cloud's just pretending to shake with fear, though. Young Fan won't fall for this act anymore. The thug swings a punch, but for Young Fan, this is a piece of cake. Before the guy even knows what's happening, our friend grabs his neck and slams him against the wall. Bam! Fatty and Cloud are in shock in the back. When did this shrimp turn into a circle? So they just stare in blank amazement. Turning to the other punk. "Your jaw is next, big guy," he says. When he finishes work and head for the door, Cloud says, "Hey, you can't just leave like that. Are you going to leave me after what happened last night?" Is how he starts playing on emotions. But now she faces a cold, calculating alpha. "Stay out of my sight or you're dead," he says, grabs his jacket, and leaves. Go for it. Girl, go after him. How dare this guy just use me and leave? Pissed off, as it's already starting to get dark outside. Young Fan sees those damn black seeds floating in the air. This is a sign. The doomsday blast is about to begin. He grabs his phone and calls his brother. They were stabbed in the back and died in their past life, but now they're healthy as can be. The girl answers the phone cheerfully. What is it, bro? Did you miss your little brother? Is how he mocks it. However, Yang Fan is dead serious. Cut the chatter, draw the curtains, lock the door. Don't open the door for anyone until I get back, not even your father. The girl was surprised and said, "Look, I'm at the dorm, it's like a fortress. What's all the fuss about?" he says. Then, as he goes to the window, he turns pale. "Man, people are tearing each other apart down there, what's going on?" And the line is breaking up. But Yang Fan is relieved, at least the girl survived the first wave of this disaster unscathed. Then the ring on her finger starts flashing like a disco ball. What does this mean? It means someone is calling soon. The signal's getting stronger and heads straight into the ladies' room. There's a girl crouching inside, but she's already turned into a zombie. Lunges at him, growling. Ours is still chasing trolls. Damn, what a waste for a body like that to turn into a zombie, isn't it? He's thinking to himself. The pervert thinks. Still, his hand doesn't shake, burying the axe in the girl's head. It needs to evolve right away. That's why he rips the crystal out of the creature without any disgust. Right then, a mysterious cloaked figure appears. Aha, they're merchants. Man, it took him 3 months to find one of these in his past life. These guys sell stuff. The color of the cape shows the level, and the crystal in hand determines the purchasing power. Shopping time. It's time to trade for items in the shop. Just like in his past life, he's getting discounts again thanks to that mysterious ring. He decides to test if the weekly special function works. When he hits it with a golden hammer, a legendary item appears before him. But the system is literally mocking him. The shop is disappearing because he can't afford it. Right then, a blood-curdling scream is heard from behind one of the doors. When he gets closer, he sees a zombie heading toward 2 girls. The girls are perfectly healthy, but the redhead is panicking and asking her friend for the knife. While the redhead tries talking to the zombie, our boy jumps in and slices the creature up. While the girls are in shock, he calmly explains the situation. He says the woman's already been bitten and the transformation has begun. The redhead disaster pulls herself together and introduces herself, saying her name is Yunwoo. And his friend's name is Mumu. Yang Feng is surprised because Mumu is destined to become the most famous biomedical scientist of the future apocalypse. And the red-haired girl will become the invincible trump card of one of the greatest spaces. These two right next to you are like hitting the jackpot. Suddenly, a monster appears behind him. But ours stops him by throwing something at his shoulder. But the creature gets stubborn and stands back up. Yang Feng explains that this plague won't die unless you rip its head off. He swings his axe with all his might, giving the zombie some brain surgery. Then he goes to collect the crystals. Yunwoo thinks he's incredibly strong but might be a pervert because he's always touching corpses. But our guy is just calculating Yunwoo's potential and how useful he'll be in the future. Profit is all he thinks about. The third wall they would retreat to in the future was known as an insurmountable and indestructible fortress. Yunwoo interrupts his thoughts, asking if he's looking for the crystal in his hand. The girls got one too, turns out she found some loot as well. His friend immediately blamed Mumu, saying he was the one messing with the bodies. The poor girl is just trying to explain she's pursuing scientific curiosity. His only goal was to study them. He's struggling so she won't misunderstand. After this strange meeting, things are getting serious. Yunwoo is making him an offer to join the group. Mumu approves. Yang Feng jumps at this opportunity, as it will make her path to revenge easier. And so, the deal is made. The girls say they're going to change and kick him out to stop him from staring. A short while later, they step out fully equipped. It's like Yunwoo knew the apocalypse was coming. He prepared all this gear in advance. They talk about getting to safety, but Yang Feng says the creatures are everywhere and they're evolving. The word evolution catches Yunwoo's interest. He's asking if they can also become stronger. After a while, our guy starts gunning for the lead. He introduces himself and sets 3 conditions. Every order will be followed, the crystals will be delivered, and traitors will die instantly. Giving off total dictator vibes, he plans to make the girls work like slaves in a post-apocalyptic world. They whisper among themselves about how talented and reliable the man seems. They accept the terms. So the team packs up and sets off on a dangerous journey towards school number 1. The school is crawling with zombies, and the girls are asking where they're going. Yang Feng, meanwhile, orders them to just follow him and collect the crystals. Walking recklessly toward the zombies, the girls think it's a huge risk. But the show is about to begin. He raises the axe and splits the first zombie in 2. The crystal falls to the ground. The artist got carried away here. The violence in this panel is a bit over the top. As Mumu studies the crystals, he blurts out that they look like vitamin stores and that maybe this is what's causing the zombification. Yunwoo wonders if they'll turn into zombies if they eat these. They can't understand why Yang Feng is gathering these stones like a maniac. While they're gossiping, a zombie approaches from behind. But suddenly a car appears and runs the creature over. The guy getting out of the car is Mu Tian. He's thrilled he actually found Yunwoo despite the odds. The girl's obsessive fan makes his entrance on stage. While our guys wonder where this useless dude came from, Yang Feng keeps spawning zombies and wonders why they're so shocked. The girls act like they're at an amusement park. The guy is the school prince, but Yang Feng turns away while Mu Tian cuts in immediately. He says he could be a good bodyguard. This offer reminds Yang Feng of the miserable days when he was penniless, hungry, and unarmed. But just then, Mumu gets cornered by two zombies. As dramatic moments unfold, the danger grows. Yang Feng ignores the chatter and clears the zombies, scolding them for making too much noise and attracting attention. Shouting from afar, Mu Tian thinks he's running away and tells him to come back. The snobby kid is starting to get angry. Because zombies are after him now, and the trio is surrounded. But what truly terrifies Yang Feng is another threat appearing nearby. A second-level evolved flower monster is standing right there. Mumu is terrified to see even the plants turning into zombies. At that moment, the flower's pollen starts raining down on the zombies. Yang Feng shouts that this is a devious technique for controlling creations. While continuing the massacre to clear a path, he tells the girls to follow the bloody trail he's blazed. It moves just like a killing machine. Just as Mumu is about to be swallowed, Yang Mu kicks the creature away. Ours is impressed once he sees how the girl fights even without a weapon. The snobby guy pulls up and tells Yang Mu he'll save her, and not to be afraid. Stepping on the gas and playing hero by crushing zombies. They reach the door. Yang Feng screams for everyone to get in the car. They think their escape ticket has just arrived. But as soon as they get inside, that traitor slams the door in their faces. Yang Mu orders it opened, but it's already too late. His one condition for letting this rich brat in is that she becomes his girl. She calls him disgusting, but the guy's shameless and even blames her for hanging out with our poor boy. Our guys immediately turn to Yang Feng to ask for the route. Boss says haul ass to the back of the cafeteria. While they run off, ours is left alone with that damn flower. Dancing with zombies, he's got only one thing on his mind. He has to deal with that flower. Otherwise, this army of the walking dead will never end. He's shocked as he slips through the creatures. A level 2 monster at the start of the game? Is this world rigged or what? He finds his chance and brings the axe down, but it's in vain. It's not a plant, it's like a pile of steel. Ours gets confused when the axe bounces. Something's not right here. I think going back in time messed up the timeline. This must be what they call the butterfly effect. The plant explodes a pollen bomb. Zombies are surrounding you like a pack of wolves. The situation is critical, the circle is closing in. He shoots and drops one, but someone's sneaking up from behind. Then, a knife sinks right into the zombie's forehead. The boy is puzzled, giving a look that says, "What are you doing here?" But the girls came back in full ride or die mode like, "Chief, we won't leave you to die." Just then, he notices the scratch on Yun's arm. She says ignore the wound and focus on the flower, but this scratch is a really bad sign. Mumu suggests the idea of having a barbecue party with a gas tank. It's a great plan to fry that monster. Yu keeps the zombies at the front while ours grabs the tank. Launch and fire, here's the expected blast. The monster's burning like tinder. Luckily it was only level 2. But wait, the creature's playing its final joke as it dies. The death pollen is spreading through the air. Our guy immediately warns everyone to put on their masks. This dust won't let a man sleep, I swear. Once things settle down, he appears among those fancy and submissive zombies. Yu's calling, punk, and he's wondering how these guys even survived. When he sees the glitter on the ground, he jumps at it like a fish. The moment they touch the flower, something jumps from the ground, and it's a bloodbath. While Mutian's throwing up, things are getting messy on our side. She's starting to tell our boy that her head's spinning. She's got an infection and is going full drama about dying, but giving up isn't in his vocabulary. He throws the girl over his shoulder like a sack and says, "Relax, champ. If you turn into a zombie, I'll shoot you in the head anyway, so relax for now." He's like a motivational speaker, for real. He gently squeezes the girl to calm her down and says they need to go to the ladies' room. To hide, of course. He takes Mumu along and arrives at the spot. The seller is waiting there. Our guy wants the crystals right away, and the girls are in shock. It's as if they see a madman talking to thin air. The girls are looking at each other, like, is this guy bargaining with a ghost? The boy starts the trade and vanishes. The girls are panicking, thinking he's ditched us. And ours is busy cursing the prices inside. Even purified water costs a fortune now. Inflation hit here too. That's capitalism for you, blind and heartless. Luckily, she gets a discount thanks to the ring on her finger. The world's oldest profession is trading, my friends. He buries 40 crystals, but still has 60 left. He takes his oath while receiving the material. He will never be anyone's slave in this life. He'll burn anyone who touches his loved ones. With this determination, she begins to prepare the potion in her hand. For now, he's keeping this merchant thing a secret. He pours the potion into the bottle and looks at the girl. It's serious, the girl's fading. Our guy takes a big swig from the bottle and... Yes, that scene's coming up, are you ready? Time to spread the healing word by word. His friend is trembling with fear, but Yun's hand is already starting to heal. Once the girl wakes up, she starts snapping, of course. She's treating him like some kind of creep. She's asking if you saved her with a kiss. When the boy said, "There was no other way, girl." His friend jumps in, saying you saved his life, so don't be a jerk. The smart girl immediately links the event to that hooded guy. Ours is like, well done, you're smart. He explores the trade area but urges them on, saying time is money. Time to collect some free crystals once we're out. Need to collect the loot from the fallen zombies. A zombie is approaching. Ah, familiar face. My brother Mutien turned into a zombie, but something strange. Ours immediately becomes a shield for the girls. Right then, a Tokyo Ghoul-style attack comes in. But our boy's playing the hero, saving the girl again. Mumu gets away at the last second. Our guy said its range was short, but the girls were left stunned. Just as Divine is about to catch them, Young Fan steps in with his sword and steals the show. He really just cut it off. He's scolding you so you'll be more careful. The plant is releasing toxins this time. Everyone, shut your mouths. But this damn thing is circling back again. Is there no peace for us? Cleavers have officially become a real pain. But our boy has a legendary ring. Zara cleans it up and says to the plant, "I have your medicine." He chops the plant and picks out the stones. You is curious, of course, asking what it is. Ours is a level 2 core. But you can't eat it now. He says it'll be raw. The girl is in shock. Is this edible? He asks. The answer is yes, but the chat ends quickly. Because another one is popping up from the ground. Now the real fun begins. Mumu sounds the alarm, saying, "Watch out, this is a risky business." He sneaks up and whispers there's nothing to fear, that it's just a trick mixed with flower nectar. Yuna's circuits are fried, obviously. Ours brushes it off, saying he'll explain later so we can catch the merchant before he leaves. By the way, is that runt still hanging out in the girls' bathroom? Our guy is kinda weird, but whatever. He starts the trade and adds the pistol, healing water, and that legendary hammer to his inventory. So he's just throwing money and gathering materials. Of course, my wallet is bone dry again. He throws the gun and XP potions to Yiya, but she already appears with a huge rifle in her hand. Do you want one of these? He asks, but our buddy refuses by shaking the tiny hammer in his hand. Just as the girl asks if that's a toy, our boy activates the device. Before he can even say, "Watch and see," magic circles glow beneath his feet. With this new class and the ring on his finger, killing him will now be harder than pulling teeth. Not much to look at here either, just like us looking in the mirror. Anyway, let's move on. Motor shrugs and focuses on the hammer in his hand. With this new artisan class, there's no limit to what you can do. He immediately maxes out the transformation ability on the weapon. The hammer liquefies like mercury, turning into a razor-sharp sword in seconds. Ours is bragging about how a blacksmith can recreate any kind of weapon. And the secret is in adding that essence. When he loads the captured essence into the weapon, a freezing blue aura begins to radiate from the barrel. Just like that plant, this sword now has the power to pin enemies down, paralyzing them on the spot. Mumu jumps right in and hands over the scalpel. Our guy unscrews a showerhead from the wall to use as material. And he pulls out 2 lethal knives. While the girls stare in shock at this logic-defying talent, he's rushing them, saying, "Come on, bottoms up." Yu downs the potion without hesitation and hands one to Mumu as well. They're hoping we'll get superpowers, But unfortunately, it's just a boost in muscle strength. Our crazy scientist actually wanted to take the potion into the lab, but with zombies everywhere, survival comes first, so she's forced to chug it down. Their bodies begin to glow faintly, with energy bubbling in their veins. Our guy points to the horizon and drops the real bombshell. We're going. My sister's waiting for us in that hell. Right, you've already forgotten that poor girl, haven't you? When a zombie sticks to the car window, our guy tells it to get out of the way and floors the gas. They're moving into the girls' dorm in building number 1. An army of zombies is behind them, so our guys are barricading the stairs with the car. They stand there and start running for their lives, but there's a deathly silence in the corridors. Our boy is starting to have his doubts. Something's wrong here. When he gets to his brother's room, the scene is a disaster. The door's wide open, the windows smashed out. Squatting down like a detective, following the tracks. He says the girl's being mistreated here, while denying it, saying, "It can't be ours, my brother is tough." Mumu rushes toward the bunk bed. On a phone he finds there, he sees that the girl's smartwatch disconnected only 15 minutes ago. So he couldn't have gotten very far. They get to work right away. Meanwhile, in a room on the 7th floor, a group of girls tied up with ropes are trembling in fear. Some creep grabs our girl's jaw and says his favorite part of the apocalypse is playing doctor with them. The guy is a total creep. "Girl, shut up or my brother will come and bury you in the wall." Talking back like that, but the guy's shouting to shut her up. While the man says he enjoys this resistance, the girl curses herself, thinking, "Oh my God, I wish I'd listened to my brother and hadn't opened the door for anyone." Right then, the door comes crashing down. The girl is over the moon when she sees her brother. But the look on our boy's face says he's not here to play games at all. Before the creep can even speak, a sword strike to the chest leaves him stunned. The sycophants next to him are shouting, "Did you come here all alone, you psycho?" Ignoring the buzzing mosquitoes, young Fan gives his brother a look that says, "Don't be afraid, I'm right here." With a flash, she lands another sword strike as someone else leaps down from above. But with a little tap right between the eyes, he's done for. Yu takes the other one out in 2 seconds. Only the most pathetic one remains. The guy is flat on the ground, crying his eyes out and begging me not to kill him. Yu seems to be feeling guilty because he got blood on his hands. Young Fan consoles her, saying, "No mercy, these scumbags deserve to die." As soon as she cuts her brother loose, she throws her arms around his neck, sobbing. While the girl trembles and says how scared she is, the other victims in the room thank their savior and go into the mode of, "Our lives are in your hands, hero." But our boy says, "No way," in a voice as cold as ice. Rejecting both, he points towards the door with his hand. He has no intention of carrying dead weight in the middle of the apocalypse, he adds ruthlessly, "so fending for yourselves is your only option. You'll end up like these carcasses lying here." Right then, Mumu reaches the hill out of breath and says, "Ha, you finally found the girl. Let's go then." While the girls left behind are bursting with envy, ours just takes her team and leaves. Looking from the 2nd floor, they see the area around the car has turned into a zombie festival. Ours shouts, "You guys stay back, let me go," and jumps down into the arms of death. One's a knee, the other's a blade, clearing the place out like a harvester. "Look up, it's clean." "Jump down," he calls out in a cool way. In the next scene, the crew heads to another location. When his sister complains that she's starving, they head to a supermarket. Yu tries to object, saying that place is dangerous, but Mumu cuts in, saying we have to stock up to survive, so Yu has to hit the gas and drive to the market. They're standing in front of the security guard at the door. Yang steps down with a, "Let me through" vibe, slashes the zombie, and throws the doors wide open. But it's empty inside. Yu gets suspicious, and Mumu agrees with him. Zombies are pressed against the glass, but it's empty inside. This is unbelievable, until Xing Xia pointed something out, that is. There's a massive pool of blood in one of the corridors. Mumu catches the scent and warns us right away. This isn't zombie blood, it's human. Things are getting serious. Our main character sends them off, telling them to loot the shelves while he covers their back. He is walking straight into danger. When he approaches the glass, he sees bloody pieces of meat. Looks like someone visited the place before us and wiped out all the zombies inside. Seeing the materials around him, our hero Yang Feng decides to hoard everything in sight like a greedy dragon. Even though his ring can store items, It's never enough for this greedy collector. Right then, he feels that eerie sensation on the back of his neck. On the second floor, there's a voyeur perv at the security monitors, and right next to him is our sneaky ex-Xiaoyan, dressed in a rabbit costume. The girl is trying to play off this morning's events as a joke just to save her own skin. But the pervert next to him is highly suspicious of Yang Feng's power. While the man grabs the girl by her chin and hurls threats, he makes sickening insinuations about what awaits the poor rabbit tonight. Xiaoyan stares at the screen, spewing hatred. Looks like it hurts that our boy found a new babe and threw her right into this creep's arms. Look at Wang De, he's drooling over you on the screen. Our sneaky Xiaoyan immediately starts turning those devilish gears in his head. She's offering to sacrifice the other girls to these creeps just to save her own skin. The store guards are getting worked up using the excuse that they're raiding our supplies. Yang Feng already noticed the camera. Ours is a total professional. He tells his crew to rest while 40 foxes circle in his mind. Leaning into Yunan's ear, he discreetly summarizes the situation and whispers for him to stay alert to the approaching danger. Then he starts strolling through the market as if nothing happened. On Judgment Day, these goods will be worth more than gold. The only issue is that the magic ring on your finger currently only has a humble 10 square meter storage space. He grabs a bottle from the ground and throws it at the camera without being noticed, disabling the damn observer. Just as he's enjoying clearing the shelves, a flying knife and a shrill voice accusing him of theft ruin the fun. Ours slips away like a ninja, looks back, and recognizes Wang Weilong, the bully who made his life hell before the apocalypse. Time for revenge for the past. The bully orders his pawns to break our guy's legs. But that weak little kid is gone now. Yang Feng flattens them with 2 elbow strikes, putting them into a deep sleep. The others are in shock. They didn't expect a monster to emerge from this scrawny-looking boy. Wang's threatening to take the girls hostage. And you coming from behind says, "Who are you taking?" He already wiped the floor with that guy's lackeys like a man. Wang collapses to the ground, trembling with fear. He's blaming everything on that girl in the rabbit suit, Xiaoyan, while acting like he's innocent. But the snake's head must be crushed. The guy pulls a club from behind and tries a sneaky hit, but ours won't fall for those tricks. Yang Feng uses his forging ability to turn the hilt in the man's hand into a deadly blade. The man starts writhing on the ground after being gutted by his own weapon. The others turn tail and run from this dark magic. Yang Feng pretends to pity the man dying on the ground and says he'll let him go. Of course, without saying where she's going. One-way ticket to hell. While the man takes his last breath, the other sycophants who fled are already on their knees, begging for mercy. Yu says these cowards are just following orders and wants them released. Ours doesn't want to waste ammunition either. Our guy says you should just roll on out of here. These guys take orders so seriously they're actually rolling away on the ground. It's pure comedy. Just as it's all over, that sneaky Xiaoyan shows up, says, "You're either mine or you're dead," and runs into the other room. The crazy girl triggers the motion sensors and opens the market doors wide to the zombies. Worse than a suicide bomber. While sending Yang Feng upstairs to cut the sensors, he forms a human shield at the door, bracing for the zombies. While his sister and Moo Moo tremble with fear, our heroic brother shields them, sending the message, "Don't be afraid, your brother is here." When you burst into the control room, Xiaoyan, hiding behind the door, is waiting in ambush with a club. But you won't fall for these tricks. He grabs the girl, slams her down, packs her up in seconds, and hogties her. Impressive. Xiaoyan curses on the ground while Yu tries to close the doors. But the zombie flood has already started pouring in. The door won't close because zombie corpses are piling up on the threshold. While Yang Feng is down there, acting all, "Calm down, I'm handling it." When things settle down, Yu brings the packed Xiaoyan downstairs. Our sneaky girl immediately fakes crying and runs to Yang Feng for protection. She's lying, claiming Yunan beat her up. Yu looks on in shock, as if her circuits have completely fried. Turns out he opened the doors supposedly to help our folks. Unbelievable, such a blatant lie. Yang Feng grabs the girl's chin and asks if she wants to help. Now she's playing her last card, saying, "I love you so much." With a troll-like grin, our guy says, "Here's your chance to prove your love," and tosses her right into the zombies, all tied up. As the girl's screams rise from behind the door, Ching Suo says, "Now this is life." Yu is still in shock. They're asking if that was really your ex. Yang Feng calmly says yes and drops the subject. They're in the safe zone now. A hot shower and a warm bed await them. They're being cleaned up and resting nicely. After drinking the level 1 potion, Moo Moo's eyes open wide like an eagle's. He doesn't even need glasses anymore. Our loot monster Yang Feng, meanwhile, just doesn't stop. They've been stuffing everything in the market into their face until morning. The next morning, looters arrive to find the shelves empty, stunned and wondering if a swarm of locusts hit the place. One of the fools spots a second floor upstairs and drags the others up there. Of course, the cowards in the group are calling it a suicide mission. But that muscle-bound freak charges in first, thinking he's immortal. The moment he opens the door, he meets the cold steel hitting his face. While our psycho lead stands there, the fat guy starts wailing for his life. Because they aren't facing a drooling zombie. There's a death machine. Seeing that lightning-fast sword strike, the cowards in the back are frozen to the spot. Just then, Yu opens the door and asks who these uninvited guests are. The wretches are begging and blubbering, claiming they're only after a bite to eat. Our guy lowers his sword and tells them there's nothing here for them, so they better beat it. But the greedy guy loses his mind and points at Yu. And he bets they've definitely stocked up on food in that bag. That classic punchable villain smirk is appearing on his face. While claiming they'd live like kings with the supplies in that bag, they hear a whizzing sound. The knife the girl threw grazes their heads, and she screams that they'll drop dead before even getting a single bite. Feeling the wind of the blade, the guy realizes his head is seconds away from being split open like a watermelon. The one in the green jacket gets so scared he's about to wet himself and backtracks with 1,000 apologies. While the muscular one rants to his friend in a rage over losing their prey, his sidekicks suggest a devious plan to shadow them and set an ambush. Our chubby friend in the corner says he has nothing to do with that psycho group, and his only concern is finding some food for his cat. He even mentions he knows of a protected shelter. Just as Yu is about to speak, a shadow gliding behind him creates a wave of tension. Shadow perches on our little guy's shoulder, and the boy instantly gets defensive, asking them not to hurt her. Turns out this little monster was just a kitten. Poor kid says he risked his life breaking into a market in this wasteland just to find some canned food for that tiny fur ball. Yu says maybe there's something left downstairs. But the kid says the place has already been looted, and there's nothing left but dust. Based on the noises heard at night, Yang Feng confirms the thieves swept everything away. Suddenly Qing Shui appears, eyes turning into hearts, saying how cute that fluffy creature is. He's absolutely dying to hold you. Yang Feng warns that the creature is a mutated monster. The chubby boy panics and insists his pet hasn't turned into a monster, that it's still innocent. Qing Shui doesn't even care. He just wants to cuddle. Despite the boy's protests, she grabs the cat and declares they're now siblings. He even says he'll share his food with his fur ball. After a while, the chubby boy asks if they'll join him at the military pool. When our people reject it, ways part. Waving goodbye to the kitten and falling into depression, King Shui doesn't hear trouble approaching. That thug group from before is back, and they brought a bunch of zombie dogs with them. They're acting scared and approaching with apologies, but their intentions are bad. They make eye contact and set their devious plans in motion. One catches Qing Shui while the other sneaks up from behind to attack. They're trying to attack Yuya. Just as the knife is about to hit the girl, Yang Feng grabs the man's arm and tells him he's not falling for these cheap tricks. As he snaps the man's arm, the guy writhes in pain and begs him to stop. On the other side, 3 greedy ones are fighting over a supply bag. The guy realizes there's no way out, and is threatening to release the zombie dogs. In that chaos, the chubby kid got distracted, so he grabbed the bag, hopped on the bike, and took off. Looking back, Yang Feng sees the pack of dogs coming at them. While Qing Shui screams in panic, our main character calmly grabs the other guy by the arm. And without any mercy, he throws the man as live bait to the hungry monsters. He orders everyone to take this chance and run to the car. He leaves the bag with Moo Moo. Yang Feng claims those creatures aren't even that strong. Right then, his sister pulls up skidding in the car and rounds everyone up inside. While fleeing, Yang Feng glances back and spots a giant, level 2 mutated dog. He's telling the others to just leave. The teen insists she join them, but she plays the hero and tells them not to be a burden. And he faces the dog's attack all by himself. The others in the car want to go back and help, but Moo Moo stays calm and tells them they must trust Yang Feng. Meanwhile, our guy is dodging those lethal blows. He recovers at the last second, just as he's about to hit the ground and become prey. With that confident psychopathic grin on his face, he looks at the dog and says he needs to teach it a good lesson. With a swing of his sword, he severs the creature's head from its body. With this move, another white core is in the bag. But a massive army of demon dogs appears on the horizon. The car screeches to a halt, and Luke opens the door and shouts for him to get in. Something strange happens the moment the girl takes his hand. It's like this girl has a magic touch. It instantly wipes away his fatigue and pulls him back into this crazy adventure. The guy at the wheel turned out to be a total rally pilot. They floor it and speed up, and our guy tells the chubby kid to run away immediately. Looking back, Ching realizes that things aren't going well at all. Half of Yunin's body is bleeding badly, and she's about to lose consciousness from blood loss. Even though the girl tries to act like she's fine, our guy takes a look and sees that the wound is very deep. He realizes that if they don't find a doctor fast, the girl is gonna kick the bucket. He's telling Mamuya to apply pressure to stop the bleeding, and orders the chubby kid to drive to the nearest pharmacy. The kid says pharmacies are already looted but knows a base with doctors. Once ours accepts the offer, they'll head over there. Soon, they arrive in front of a massive building. This is one of the few places that survived the apocalypse. Our guy remembers being rescued here in a past life, too. The only problem was, back then, all the doctors who treated people for free had been killed. Because kindness was the crime most quickly punished in this world. While the girls carry Yuya on their shoulders, the chubby boy drags them along. He runs to the guards and begs for help, saying they have wounded people. But the guards at the gate are blocking the way, saying they can't let anyone infected inside. Yu shows his wound, trying to prove it's a knife wound and not a bite. But there's not a hint of pity on the guards' faces. They say the rules are set in stone, but they've got other motives. They're extorting them, saying it's 100 crystals per person to enter, and at least 1,000 for the girl. Yang Fan reaches into his pocket as if to call them poor and shows off his wealth. He even shows off that rare crystal and dazzles their eyes. The men were speechless at the sight of such wealth, of course. They open the doors right away, but they're whispering behind his back, planning to finish Yang Fan off the moment he turns around. Typical side character cunning. But our boy is a professional paranoid. He spots the knife in the reflection on the wall and asks, "What's up? Are you going to gut me?" Before they can even respond, he's laying down the law, saying, "You don't have that kind of talent." He takes down the first guy in one move. His friend has already started trembling with fear. He tries to attack in a panic, but in vain. He bites the dust with a blow to the back. Even if he stays, "Shame, you deserved it, dirtbags." His wound still stinks. Look at Yang Fan, he's totally into her. As for his sister, she immediately goes into looter mode and strips the bodies. Turns out they didn't have a cent in their pockets. The chubby one is terrified, thinking, "What kind of maniacs have I ended up with? Should I run?" It rings the bells of death. Just then, a voice echoes from the second floor. Adam approaches, clapping as if he just watched a play, and asks for her name. Ours is introducing himself in a flashy way, of course. Turns out this guy is the head of the security company. "So, I'm the owner of the place." He says he's the boss around here. And Yang told Fan to come and work with me. But our offer is nice. But my friend is dying. First, he sets the priority by saying hospital. Patron. She says, take them to get checked for baldness. And makes sneaky plans while watching them leave. It's clear he noticed Yang Fan's potential. They arrive at a shop, but it looks more like a grocery store than a hospital. They go inside and say they need a doctor. Some guy with glasses comes out and says it's him. He says bring in the patient, but Yang Fan immediately realizes this guy isn't the one he's looking for. When the guy saw the wound and asked for exactly 5,000 crystals for blood and tetanus, our Tom Bisho snapped, shouting, "What greed? Is this a robbery?" The one with glasses is quite shameless. He's like, "If you can't afford it, go hunt some zombies." Then, a divine voice comes from behind the curtains. "If you won't look, I will." Our guy is surprised. Before us is that famous doctor who both saves lives and takes them. When the woman tries to examine Yu, the greedy doctor yells, "You can't waste our resources like this." "But lady doctor, have you ever heard of professional ethics?" Saying so, he refuses to leave the patient to die. The guy says, "This is my place, shut up." and tries to slap the woman. But someone caught that hand midair. Yang Fan lays down the law, telling him that if he loves his hand, he'd better keep it in one piece. The guy is backing off with his tail between his legs, but he's threatening the general, saying, "I'll tell him about that money, you'll all see." The doctor tells the man to get out, because he needs to treat the girl. But our psycho Yang Fan asks the woman out of the blue, "Will you go out with me?" Here's what's on his mind. In her previous life, this woman saved him many times. Now he wants to pay his debt of gratitude, but his timing is terrible. Friends are out, obviously. What's with this chubby guy trying to start a harem? He can't get enough of women, she thinks to herself. The woman is in shock, saying, "Who are you? I don't even know you." He's trying to figure out this maniac's goal. Ours keeps going, thinking we'll get to know each other and fight side by side over time. Total shamelessness. The woman calls him a shameless jerk. If it hurts, I'm suffering here, while others are all like, "Look at them flirting." Finally, the doctor kicks them all out. He says come back and see us after the treatment is over. Luckily, it looks like YouTube now, the color's back to normal. Everyone's cheering, but just then, the sidekick doctor's shrill voice rings out. These are the freeloaders who didn't pay. General Leopard shows up with a massive gang, says resources are tight, and tells everyone to pay up. We'll pay the Yang Fan thing, but 5,000 crystals for a tiny cut? He stands up to them, asking if they're running a racket. When he asks if they're a gang, one of the sidekicks points a gun and snaps, "Do you have a death wish, kid?" But then ours shows their talent. Like a cartoon character, he bends the guy's gun and points the barrel back at him. Look at the leopard when he sees this. He says the kid's got potential and offers to wipe your debt if you join us, as a favor. But he doesn't forget to mention that if you don't accept, there's a beating coming. One of his men gets a fireball ready, while the one on the left gathers earth power. And both of them are charging ours with everything they've got. Our guy reaches out with lightning speed, grabs Lin Miao mid-attack, and throws her over his shoulder like a sack. He's worried he almost had the girl get the flowers planted. The girl looks at him with admiration, thinking about his hidden talents. Thinking God knows what other tricks they have up their sleeves, he says, "Fine, damn it, I'm in, but you don't touch that woman, doctor." When the man asks what his talent would even bring them, Yang Fan grins with confidence. Don't underestimate the power of the artisan class. He shows off his business savvy, saying, "Give me the materials and I'll craft everything in the shop for you at 80% off." Dollar signs appear in the leopard's eyes. He says fine, but don't screw me over, then has his men prepare the place. Mumu is shocked and asks if we're really going to live among these bad guys. Ours starts explaining the plan with a devious smile. Our sly main character plans to exploit these suckers to both recover and fill his pockets. In the next room, that so-called boss is hatching sinister plans like a classic villain. The plan is to steal part of your team and turn ours into weapon-making slaves locked in a basement for life. The girl next to him is also hyped up like a total sucker. He keeps saying how much of a genius his boss is, it's pathetic. Right then, a hulking brute blocked Yang Fan's path and said, "Move it, kid, get back to smithing." Ours was only upset that he had to move the plan forward a bit due to this sudden fait accompli. Not a trace of fear left. His sister wanted to follow, but that gorilla-looking guy refused. Yang Fan gave her the, "Calm down, champion, just enjoy yourself" look and sent her away. The vault they entered together was a literal treasure trove. When the man showed him over 5,000 low-level stones, his eyes lit up. And he shamelessly threatened that if I couldn't make weapons, he'd feed me to the zombies. Seeing all those crystals, did Yang Fan even hear the threat? Suspicious. These guys had their arsenal packed, but their heads were empty. Pointing to the pile of materials over there, they said they didn't know what to do with them. Turns out they were sitting on a treasure while begging. Our clever friend saw this as the perfect opportunity to gear up his team with legendary equipment. Turns to the guy and says, "Come on, honey, I don't like an audience while I work. Let's get you out of here," he said, pointing to the door. "Just an artist's whim." As the man leaves, "There's no escape from here, it's like a sealed box." He gave one last warning, but our guy had already started eyeing the loot. Examining the materials, Yang Fan confirmed once again that these guys were complete idiots who had no idea of the value of the ores in their hands. He even occasionally found a rare stone that warps spacetime and acts as storage. He got right to work and started gathering the materials. After a while, he had crafted various items for himself and his team, but he pretended to be exhausted just for show. He kept the best pieces for himself and hid them away to avoid attention. He also swiped a few of the guy's stones. But outside the door, the rumor mill was spinning. While they were asking if this guy was really making weapons out of trash, the other was explaining that he had a rare talent and needed new slaves. Plus, the model-like girls he brought over were all those guys could talk about. Just then, Yang Fan walked out and changed the whole vibe. "Anyone who touches my comrades will regret they were ever born," he said, radiating a deadly aura. But the guys were like, "Let's see those guns." It was in style. They said if the goods are bad, you won't live to see tomorrow's sun. But when they saw the first-class swords on the table, their jaws dropped. Total cost was a pile of trash, and just 3,600 stone instead of 6,000. He literally got it for free. "Yang Fan, at my current level, I can only make 10 a day. F*********. The man swung the sword at the log and was mesmerized by its sharpness. Realizing they shouldn't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, Yarma finally understood the boy's value. Yang Fan also wanted to return to his harem after finishing his work. Yarma agreed and told the guy with glasses to take him there. Our guy was happy the plan was working perfectly. The only odd thing was not being given the expensive reagents that boost weapon power. But still, when the door opened, the view was astonishing. The girls were relaxed inside, as if they were in their own home. They even gave ours an attitude for entering without knocking. Shameless. Ours ignored the attitude and dumped a pile of supplies onto the table. It felt like Santa Claus was giving out gifts. He said he made special equipment for them. His sister couldn't believe how so many things came out of that tiny necklace. She immediately grabbed the necklace and started shaking it to see if any more surprises would fall out. Our guy explained that this was a secret warehouse. He gave the necklace to his brother as a gift and tossed Mumu a level 2 Desert Eagle and custom-made goggles. The girl was shocked to hear the gun has unlimited ammo. Mamuna's glasses were a cheat item capable of analyzing any object. Sheena, entering the room, threw a sturdy shield that would help against the zombies. The kid caught it in midair and gave the doctor a vest resistant to mutant attacks. While the woman thanked them in shock, the team had officially leveled up. Meanwhile, someone had taken the weapons Yang Fan made to Boss Leopard. The man tested the weapon and was amazed by its quality. He said it was as good as the weapon he uses himself. His sidekick chimed in immediately and asked if they should take their women hostage now. Boss said, "Wait, don't rush it yet." When the ammo ran out, these melee weapons would save lives, and this sucker in their hands was very precious. Having a cash cow like Yang Fan who could produce everything was like hitting the jackpot in the apocalypse. Watching them leave through the window, ours knew they were falling into a trap. Them liking what you made meant more materials. When the revolution began, he would have crushed it with a team as powerful as a Megazord. The plan was working perfectly. The doorbell rang, and Lin Miao said there was someone at the door. Turns out Leopard's girl came to meet with ours. The woman glided into the room and introduced herself. His intentions were clear, but ours didn't really care. The woman said flirtatiously that the materials were ready, but Yang Fan snapped at her, saying they'd handle it in the afternoon because he was tired. While ours appreciated Leopard's ambition, a woman named Homie started hitting on him, telling him not to be so cold. She approached him in his room implying she'd help, but our Sigma male just grabbed her arm and stopped her, saying, "I've got work to do, sister." The woman kept pestering me to ask what it was about and tried to follow me. Ours asked if there wasn't a single negotiator on this whole base. When the woman said it existed but he had to pay 3,000 crystals to use it, Yang Fan thought it was straight-up daylight robbery. With no other choice left, our guy decides to step in. Our sister takes him to the door, but the guys there are walking around like a freaking arsenal. When our guy tries to get in, he finds himself facing a level 2 negotiator. Knowing the goods inside are solid, he shells out the 3,000 and grabs his ticket in. When the guy says he's only got 5 minutes, our man has to speed up like a greyhound. The moment it starts the process, it begins scanning everything it has. All the cool upgrades and skill items have been snatched up, the shops picked clean. But luckily, a previously attempted special challenge is still waiting there for you. And it's been tried twice. There's a system like this for high-level trades. You enter the test, and if you win, you bag the loot and get out. Knowing his time is running out, our boy activates the system without a second thought, and finds himself in a room enclosed by 4 walls. Fortunately, time flows slower inside than it does outside. So he's got about 50 minutes. Just then, a massive metal claw hits the ground, making the earth tremble. And a mechanical bear appears before him. Ours doesn't even flinch, just draws his sword and charges headfirst into this pile of metal. The monster delivers a blow to the blade. Our son realizes the creature is level 3. But it's getting too late. Our poor guy gets thrown meters away as he realizes the monster is faster than him. He's learning the hard way that it's stronger and bigger. But he says if even a level 8 creature has a weak spot, this hunk of junk must have one too. The moment the monster swings its claw, our guy lines up the sword with its arm and slices through that metal limb like butter. He's trying to trigger the paralysis effect, but his ability is still as weak as a mosquito bite. Still, that creature's momentary hesitation is enough for ours to leap into the air. And he finishes it with that massive cut right to the neck. As the bear returns to the junkyard, a mysterious voice whispers, "This kid is quite interesting." Unexpectedly, his blacksmithing skill instantly jumps to level 2. Right then, the guys outside start talking about looking for him. He acts like he's leaving the bathroom, saying the 5 minutes aren't up, but they surround him and won't even let him breathe. They say they're going to search you from head to toe. Young Fan steps in, reminding them he has 5 minutes and got permission from Leopard. But the guard says weapons are forbidden, and he must hand over whatever he found. They're telling ours to behave, or else face the consequences. But our son doesn't like this threat at all and fires right back. He claims he didn't make any trades because he couldn't find the medicine he wanted. The soldier doesn't believe him, saying everyone's telling the same lie, kid. When young Fan asks what happens if they find nothing, the guy even hints that he could die. Because hanging around inside for 5 minutes and coming back empty-handed makes no sense to these greedy types. Ours opens his arms wide and says, "Go ahead and search, but carve my words into your minds." The man orders his team to plunder. A short while later, they say they really couldn't find anything. Right at that moment, the guard is caught completely off guard. Our guy grabs the man's hand and delivers a heavy slap right to the middle of his forehead. While the guy kisses the ground, young Fan says the price has been paid. Our guy turns to the girl and asks, "Do you want to check it too, beautiful?" The poor girl mumbles she's just fine, trembling with fear. He says he'll take him out right then and there if our son is threatened again. But this crazy girl just melts when she sees such a brave man in front of her. This courage is telling your body you want to go to the gym and do squats. Lord have mercy, ours is trying to ignore this maniac and get away. But the girl clings to his arm and says it's time for another gun tattoo. Our guy pulls his arm back and hits the nail on the head. He says he doesn't mess with women who belong to someone else. The crackpot, unable to handle rejection, swears he'll soon make her his slave. In the room, Lin Mio notices her wound has already healed. They think it's due to the physical evolution brought by the new world. While the others in the living room worry about our hero's safety, Moo Moo says the real risk is being trapped here. Tombik, meanwhile, points out that the real problem is his stomach growling from hunger. Because the supplies have run dry. Because they don't have a decent meal to eat. Right then, our guy shows up and says don't worry. While everyone's excited, our guy tosses a pile of food in front of them. The crew finally finds relief as the feast begins. And since ours has things to take care of today, he warns them not to open the door to anyone. He's heading to his room. He knows there are 9 levels to becoming a blacksmith. The only person to reach the peak in his past life built a base so strong that not a single scratch could be made on its walls. And ours is aiming for that level in this life. And here's the deal with level 2. You can get special effects even without adding crystals. And if you add effects on top of it, the weapon becomes just perfect. It's inside that pile of junk. He found a 2nd level crystal that he decided to hide. He says it's time and joins the crystal with his sword. It feels weird that it doesn't glow under special effects. But the moment he swings his sword, the place turns into an inferno and a wall of fire forms. He realizes he's created a masterpiece worth thousands of crystals. In the next room, the man called Leopard is assessing the situation. He's praising the quality of today's weapons. The sycophant next to him asks if he'll really give the kid the right to evolve once he hits 100. Leopard says of course not with a nasty smirk. And as soon as LED does the 99th, he says he'll treat them all like trash. In 7 days, our guy is delivering another batch of weapons. As usual, he's pocketing all the best resources. He makes legendary goods for himself, and sells trash to the others. Now everyone greets him with respect as he walks to his famous restroom. They never stop their extortion, and our guy just pays them off to avoid any trouble. Run straight to the merchant and open that sweet trade window. It activates the ring's weekly item feature. Praying it's not trash. And as luck would have it, he finds a legendary staff. This isn't an ordinary staff, it's the key that unlocks the sage profession. People would kill to have this. Our guy is over the moon. Now he just needs to convince the sucker, the person, to use this wand. And maybe it's time to start collecting some heads. Steps out of the bath but nags me, saying, "Homie, you're making me feel ugly." Right then, someone starts pounding on the door like a debt collector. When they open the door, that clingy sidekick appears and says the girls are coming with them. The Kingslayer coward rabbit is trying to bail already. But the man orders them to pack it all up. Our guys are hiding behind Yo, who's threatening to blow your heads off with that level 2 weapon. The gang leader, Steel, is showing off, saying, "Don't embarrass yourself, kid." The girl doesn't care at all, pulls the trigger, and puts a hole in the man's arm. The man is in shock after seeing his skin being pierced. He roars in anger, losing his temper once he realizes this girl is hiding something. Turns out the guy was level 2. He jumps on him, knocks the gun away with one slap, and grabs the girl's throat at the same time. The others are attacking the rest of the team. While Mumu looks for a weak spot with his glasses, he catches an eye on Mayo's wrist. Homie says he'll help, but before he can even lift a finger, he just freezes up seeing everyone already get packed up. The Kingslayer gets caught too. Only our boy and that angry cat are left. The boy orders the kitten to attack. The cat is scratching the guy's face to pieces. But the boss is shouting, "Stop, or I'll blow these two girls' brains all over the wall." Mumu and Sinan surrender in despair. They're being neutralized too. The only thing set free is that tiny furball. But the jerk decides to kill that innocent cat just to test the level 2 weapon in his hand. A total psychopath. Outside at that moment, Yenfen asks Homie what he meant. When the girl explains the team was captured, our guy asks who dared to do such a thing. Homie says Leopard's men did it, but he's just stalling, claiming he's innocent. Ours is just trying to get out of there without a care. The girl is shouting after him, "Don't rush, or you'll end up dying all alone. I can help you." Smart guy. Says his only condition is that I give him the item you got from Leo. Homie's boiling with rage whenever ours disappears again once we pull back. Moving through the corridors, he sees many hunters in pursuit and realizes Haman wasn't lying this time. His team is in great danger. The interesting part is, since our guy was imprisoned in this base before, he knows exactly where people are taken. Now it's time to repay those favors. Time for a massacre. A swarm of guards is standing in front of one of the cells. The guard gets distracted, and Yenfen's behind him like the Grim Reaper, getting ready to take off the light armor and put on a show. Saying it's time to use it, he activates the chest plate and equips it through a robotic transformation. Meanwhile, the crew is stuck in the cell. While asking if we're just going to sit there, she's analyzing the ropes with her glasses to find a way to cut them. They had just started cutting the ropes when the guards sensed a scheme unfolding inside. They kick the door down and burst in. Stay smart, they say. Even takes the chance and trips the man. While shouting, "Hey, you don't hit women!" the released kitten perches right on top of a strange-looking guy. The problem is, they've already got a cold barrel pressed against the boy's forehead. The situation is critical. And to top it off, the poor guy gets a hard slap across the face. The cat runs meowing for help, but the man pulls the trigger without blinking. The moment the guy pulled the trigger, our chubby boy threw himself in front of the bullet and literally acted as a human shield. He was just saying he'd send you to the other side when a boot came out of nowhere and smashed into his face. Who the hell hit me? Yenfen suddenly appeared at the door with his flaming sword, shouting, "Your time is up, boys!" He gave that look. The guys surrounded him and yelled, "Fire at will," but our boy had already gone into Matrix mode. He drew his swords and began slicing bullets out of the air. It was like he created a bulletproof magnetic field around him. While our fatty recorded the scene from the sideline, Yenfen sliced the first two enemies like salami. The girls watched in admiration. Someone tried to threaten his sister, but Lin Myo snuck up from behind and slammed the guy to the ground. This girl's a real psychopath. As his sister ran to security, the guy aimed his gun, but our man just swiped his arm right off like a Photoshop delete command and finished him. "Alright, let's hightail it out of here." He was shouting when a voice from behind ruined the entire escape plan. Bay Leopard had gathered his entire gang. He was demanding an explanation, saying, "You can't escape that easily, kid. Is this how you betray such kindness?" Our chubby knight got hyped again and dashed forward, activating his shield to protect his boss. But Leopard made an offer he couldn't refuse. "Stop this foolish resistance, and I'll make you the number 3 man in the gang." Our guy smirked brazenly. He must have been bored with his army of women, because this offer didn't sound bad at all. While the Hun was playing the "forget about me, save yourself" drama, Fatty stunned everyone by admitting he'd never seen this place before. Lin Mei claimed escaping was suicide since she knew the shelter's rules, but Young Fan thought the offer was too tempting to pass up. But our boy didn't even care. The moment Mumu pointed at the crack in the wall, Young Fan turned it into a heap of bricks with a single blow. While the brats took advantage of the chaos to climb over the rubble, that guy Leopard ordered his men to kill. But Sinan lunged forward with a giant shield, forming a living wall. Just then, one of the awakened ones leaped into the air. He was scoffing, thinking that simple shield could stop him. While Sinan broke into a cold sweat, Young Fan appeared in the air like a ghost. The enemy dodged in shock and tried an earth spell, but our hero slipped aside with a nimble move. He activated the lethal aura on his blade and lunged forward. Despite skin as hard as steel, the sword left a bloody mark on the neck. While the man wondered how that legendary petrification was overcome, Young Fan pounced on him, whispered he'd take the answer to his grave, and finished him off. Leopard ordered his men to end the massacre as the girls begged and fled in panic. The fat kid tried to be a hero and stepped up, but our guy told him to back off and took on the whole burden herself. While the girls were dragging Sinan, the clumsy enemies opened fire with a bazooka. But they were so incompetent that they hit the ceiling and blocked the exit. Young Fan seized the chaos and slipped through like a snake. And it jumped to the other side. While his sister shouted with joy, he tossed the borrowed weapon back to Yuya and warned her to keep her eyes peeled. Yuya got all teared up once he realized he hadn't been forgotten. But right then, a deafening explosion broke out from the direction they came. The captain turned into his true form, that disgusting leopard, and roared that no one would get out of here alive. Yuya panicked and pulled the trigger, but the monster dodged the bullets like the wind. He was right in front of her in seconds, but Young Fan stepped in and blocked that deadly claw. He shouted at everyone to run or they'd be bait. Because they had zero chance against this monster. The group retreated as the zombie horde approached. With a wild roar, the leopard was shredding everything around it like a meat grinder. Young Fan ran to the group to open the shield and stop the attack. Because he noticed this creature was consuming too many resources. Mumu dashed toward a vehicle, dragging everyone along with him. The leopard gathered a terrifying energy in its claws, vowing to rip off Young Fan's leg, while he calmly waited as if he were just on a picnic. The creature treated the kid like trash for thinking he could win with that level 1 scrap weapon. But Young Fan swung his sword at the claw so hard that the monster was forced onto the defensive. But it was no use, all its claws were cut like butter, and ours, with that psychopathic smile, said he made this weapon himself with materials from the creature. Leopard couldn't believe a level 1 item could do this. At that moment, Young Fan told his superior to his face just how naive he was. Leopard froze when he saw the boy had a level 2 weapon and decided it was wiser to wait for his army. But while he was hesitating, the girls pulled up and punched his ticket out. Still, the chief reached a devious conclusion, thinking that if this brat were truly that strong, he wouldn't have run away. When he realized the kid was bluffing, he chased after the car like a rabid dog. Yuya tried to shoot, but the guy was dancing through the bullets. With the leopard right by the car, Young Fan ordered them to head straight into the zombie-infested city center. They dove into a sea of zombies. As the car ran over the dead, Leopard had to deal with those left behind. While Ching Su celebrated the enemy's retreat, the creature turned the scene into a bloodbath with a single roar and lunged through the explosions to continue the pursuit. The crew didn't understand why they couldn't get out of this drift. But Moo noticed the horror appearing before them and screamed. A massive zombie stood before them, and Young Fan immediately realized it was a Class 3 disaster. He stopped the vehicle immediately. And he said this creature is even deadlier than a leopard. As the giant monster came down on the car like a sledgehammer, his leopard caught up from behind. But the Class 3 monster sensed the leopard was a greater threat, meaning it was a tastier prey, and turned the course towards it. With his superior fuming in rage, young Fan ordered them to floor it. Leaving the two monsters to their deadly dance, they turned in another direction. While Moo tried to understand why the creature didn't attack them, he simply explained that big fish eat the dangerous fish, not just the small one. The doctor asked where they were going. Young Fan host said they are going to the city of Shin. Noticing that strange look on Yu's face, he asked if something was wrong. Even if she denies it, Moo dropped the bombshell. Yu's relatives were in the city of Jigawa. So the girl's mind was on that. Young Fan knew all too well that the city had become a branch of hell on earth during the apocalypse. It's not just the center of chaos. It was also like a holiday resort for supernatural creatures. But most importantly, that scumbag he wanted revenge on was also around there. That's why he told them to head for that hell. Yuya looked at him with gratitude. Our guy surprised everyone by stroking his brother's hair and saying their relatives were fine and he'd already spoken with them. With the experience of his past life, he knew they would survive for at least another 6 months. While thinking about changing course on one hand, he turned to the doctor with a grin and asked her to be his girlfriend on the other. The doctor looked at her and thought the idea wasn't so bad after all. A move is coming that will fundamentally change the rules of the game. Ours acts sneaky, pretends he forgot something, and hands Lin Miao that legendary class card. Yuna's eyes widen in shock because he knows that card's value all too well. Our boy touches her forehead, basically saying, "Welcome to the Matrix," and opening the doors to a new world. Fire flashes in her eyes as she proudly says she's unlocked the Sage class. Our chubby friend didn't get what was going on at all. Has the girl lost her mind? Staring blankly in that mood. Ours is just looking for a show. He's cutting his hand just to look cool. Covered in blood, he shows the girl, says, "Watch and see," and ignites his talent. The wound evaporates in seconds. The girl's confidence is through the roof. The crew, well, we're immortal now. He's celebrating with that "no one can touch us" attitude. But every spell has its price. When Lin Miao whines about her battery being dead, he gives her the bill. Energy depletion. The girl's whining, saying she'd rather just take medicine. But Yang Fan drops a bombshell. If you level up, you can regenerate even a torn liver in seconds. Hearing this, dollar signs appear in the girl's eyes. Lin Miao is all fired up. Yu, meanwhile, is bursting with envy. He's dying to know when he'll farm and get this. And that's where that evil genius kicks in. He slams on the brakes and suggests we go rob his house while he's busy playing with that leopard beast. Even if his sister yells, "Don't do it, we'll get burned," would our loot monster ever stop? He set his mind on it. When the boss is away, we party. Yu wants to come too, but Mumu totally shuts her down, saying she's alone, weak, and should just sit her butt down. The poor girl is depressed, while ours is already at the peak. He jumps out of the car, treats the zombies like snacks, and storms right in. It's seeping back into the hole it came from. The guards? They're dead and gone before they even know what happened. The guy is a total assassin. He enters the secret room and starts sucking up resources like a vacuum cleaner. But the real grand prize is waiting for him just around the corner. 2 vials of level 1 healing potion. Our guy's even tipping his hat to their stockpiling while gathering the loot. He's in a great mood. He's amazed at how an ordinary guy gathered all this stuff. But he needs to level up faster to protect the team. You can see the hunger in his eyes. With his blacksmithing skills, he crafts bullets that defy the laws of physics. Right then, the leopard shows up with a huge hole in its arm, saying, "You again?" The guy is a mess, but he's still full of himself. Ours came back early with a smirk, throwing shade and saying second place doesn't suit you. The guy transforms and roars to give him back his stuff. But Yang Fan's philosophy of life is clear. If the enemy is wounded, show no mercy, finish them off. The claw cuts the air, ours slips away like a shadow. My second attack, so slow, it's all going to waste. Perfectly blocks the attack with his knife. The leopard bitterly realizes in that moment that he cannot win this dance of death with his broken claws. Escape mode active. He throws out threats about seeing us later, but forgets that Yang Fan's appointment with the Grim Reaper is never late. A treacherous backstab, and the gutting is complete. The leopard kisses the ground, ours calmly steps over the body, saying another piece of trash has been cleared. A second evolution potion drops from the man's pocket. Our guy's chugging it down right away. Now we know why those safes were empty. An explosion. The kid's literally flipping out, jumping 3 meters high. Now, zombies are just paper targets for him to tear through. He finds a bike outside and heads for the city. But on the way, that damn ring starts vibrating again. Is there a cellar? He lets it go and heads to the meeting point. Suddenly he sees that he's found the car, but the atmosphere is strangely tense. He follows the tracks and sees the crowd. Strangely enough, they'd pack Sinan up. People are gathered around. It's a serious matter. These aren't zombies, they're human. But if you touch his friend, he won't just take your hand, he'll take your head. He's losing it. A massacre is near. Just as he's about to attack, Sinan yells, "Stop, don't do it, they're good guys." What do you mean good? They've tied you up like a sacrificial lamb. Those guys are talking nonsense, saying we're forced to because of the village chief and tree magic. Yang Fan's head is spinning. He unties Sinan and roars, "Where is my sister?" The chubby guy asks, panics, and bolts, saying we have to save the girls. On the way, Yang Fan starts the interrogation. Turns out they've been through it all, a total disaster scenario. A little girl jumped in front of them while they were driving. The classic move, she clung to his leg like a leech and cried, saying her father was dying. Even though you said not to fall for the trap, our naive lover Lin Yao thought she could just heal through it, and invited disaster. But that little brat wasn't innocent at all. He smirked to himself when he saw the trap worked. A total devil. They approached an ominous pink tree. People are watching from afar, thinking she knows what she's doing. They arrived at a creepy wooden house. The little girl says, "My father's inside." He looks around. He's suspicious about why there aren't any zombies here. But it's too late now. The girl goes in and talks to her coughing father. Will Lin Miao stay? He jumps right in like a sucker and uses his ability to heal the guy. The man is in shock. He realizes they aren't ordinary passengers. He stands up and goes into that "wow, magic is real" mode. The guy is surprised that you're actually a doctor. And Qin Shu naively comforts the girl, saying her father has recovered. Lin Miao has drained her energy to the point of fainting. Just as he was about to bolt, his dad says, "Whoa, where to? The party's just starting." The door is kicked open. People are crowding in. Dad's trying to act tough, telling them to rob others but let these guys go. But the bandits have lost it. They're saying they'll add these girls to their collection. It's absolutely disgusting. They have bad intentions. Dad tries to be a hero and confronts the boss, but he gets a stinging slap across the face in return. And authority is shattered. He aims his gun and fires that side eye at anyone who moves, but it's no use. Extras don't listen to reason. That sneaky snake snuck up behind King Shuya and is using her as a human shield. The guns are forced down. Hands are tied. The perverted headman hoards women at his house while keeping poor Fatty tied to a pole. The girl's father is crawling and begging, but he gets another kick to the face as a reward. No mercy. He's making psycho threats, saying if he doesn't tie up the girl and gut the fat guy, he'll slit her throat. Let the death game begin. Yang Fan and our chubby friend are running that way, out of breath. While I'm struggling to find the way, a mysterious guy in a black t-shirt appears and says, "Follow me." Turns out he's our victim girl's father. Destination: the village's 200-year-old cursed sacred tree. The tree they have protected for generations. When the apocalypse hit, it mutated and started snacking on people. Right as he was about to devour the chef, he stopped at the last second. The villagers thought the magic was in the chef and worshipped him. But Yang Fan won't fall for that. You need elf blood to check the tree, and the boss doesn't have any. And the moment we've waited for, Yang Fan kicks the door off the frame and bursts in with a legendary flying kick. Just as the chef is about to lay his filthy hands on Yuya, our psycho protagonist makes his entrance. When the boss asks about the guards, our guy calmly sends the message that they've all gone to hell. He jumps on him and roars, "Get your filthy hands off my woman!" And Yu is thrilled that I said it. Cornered, the chef tries to negotiate. But Yang Fan is like, "Why should I let you live?" The boss sneakily reaches for his gun, but our guy severs his arm in half a second. Dad's still whining about not killing the chef, but Yang Fan tells them the truth, that this guy is a fraud. But the drama never ends. Another jackal has taken the girl hostage, Chief. He's grinning even with his arm torn off. Dad's begging Yang Fan for the armless chef on the floor. Yet on the other side, his daughter's at knife point. If you remember, the last episode ended just as Yang Fan was about to send the chief to the other side. The guy behind the girl says he'll get her if I move, but he doesn't realize he's threatening the wrong person. It's spurting blood. Yang Fan delivers a fatal blow to the man's neck without any hesitation. Desperate, the man hits the girl. The father is running and screaming, holding his injured daughter in his arms. While the poor girl pleads with the doctor for her life, Yang Fan gives a cold-blooded order to the remaining servants. Gather the village or your daughter dies, he says, and then walks away. The doctor is tending to the bloody girl. When Yang Fan gives the chef who cut his arm a, "Don't play dead, I'm not buying it." Look, the guy comes back to life. He gets kicked from behind while spinning lies about actually being a good person, heading straight to the base of the tree. When they arrive at the scene, the tree emits massive energy. A mysterious cloaked merchant stands before you. While our guy is eyeing the merchant's items, Mumu, this tree is straight up alien tech. They say science can't explain it. Shingsu notices that no one is touching the guy under the tree. Something fishy is going on. The villagers immediately blame the one under the tree. It's the classic, "We're innocent, they're guilty" psychology kicking in. Yang Fan won't fall for these cheap tricks. But he tells the girl that the man is only there for business. While the crystal swap goes down, the girl's dad and an army of hyped-up villagers storm the place. When the tree erupts and emits an aura, the brave villagers run for their lives, shouting, "Run or we'll die!" Before Yang Fan can even open his mouth, everyone clears out. Only our team and the trader's chief are left. The armless chef still hasn't learned his lesson. He thinks he can use that tree to take down our boy in 10 seconds. He threatens that I'll die if I don't run, but Yang Fan just laughs off such empty talk. He slams a heavy fist on your back and says, "Let's see what you've got." The villagers are pushing the man against the tree. Chief clings to the tree. Something is approaching, but this time Chief isn't the target. The attack is heading straight for our boy. The villagers are panicking, wondering if the chief is truly the master of the tree. Yang Fan opens his arms and enters God mode. He says he's the only one calling the shots here. Even if his father says, "Don't do it, son, you'll get burned," our guy's plan is already in motion. He opens the bottle, polishes the ring, determined to tear out that dark cursed seed taking over the tree. He was worried sick, but Mumu is calm. He says let him put on his show, he knows what he's doing. While our losers stood back like props, the real show was beginning. The tree monster attacked like a beast, but Yang Fan dodged it with that classic, cool protagonist jump. He poured aura into his sword, hit the gas, and sliced straight through the energy branch. But the damn tree's branches were endless, and one crept up from behind and took the kid out. With the blow to his back cutting off his breath, Yang Fan realized bitterly that the level 2 sword in his hand was actually no better than a blunt blade. Another frontal attack and a sneaky blow from behind. Just as we thought it was over, an unexpected force intervened and changed the tree's direction of attack. This crazy girl messing things up with the gun was none other than Diao. But suddenly he startled. Yang Fan was surrounded on 5 sides, but our boy had an adrenaline rush and dodged them all in a single leap. He grabbed the purified water from his inventory and chugged it down. The moment the water hit the tree, it was absorbed like a sponge, and strange, eerie smoke began to rise from it. As the huge tree began to shake violently, Yang Fan mistook it for a video game and quickly opened the shop interface to pull a shopping spree. She wasn't sure if the water would work, though. He was going to seize the moment and turn the chaos to his advantage. At that moment, something fell to the ground with a loud crash. It looked like the tree was broken, and our team was already drunk with victory. Mumu was naively happy, thinking the tree was no longer suffering. While the villagers discussed how the boys subdued the monster, they noticed our hero had disappeared. Ours was chilling in that cool system shop as usual. The best part was no one else could get near this special merchant, so all the top-tier gear was left for our guy. Prices were sky-high, but thanks to the cash he lifted from that thug nicknamed the Leopard, his wallet was fat. He spent a full 42,000 crystals without blinking, but at least he gathered some legendary loot. As soon as he returned, he downed a potion and declared it was finally time to finish off this freakish tree. The diagnostic tree was still there. The ones that fell were just a few branches. Yang Fan sensed something was wrong. But before he could even move, the villagers suddenly fell to the ground, worshipping him and shouting that he was a local god. Mumu explained that because he calmed the branches, people truly thought he was a divine being. Just then, his brother came running up out of breath and asked how you dealt with that weird guy. Ours, being the cool one, ignored everyone and released evolution agents as if giving out candy. And he ordered them all to swallow these. Deal. With that second-rate agent he provided, the girl's body would become as tough as a tank. When the poor girl saw she was given such a high-level gift, she turned as red as a tomato, wondering if he was in love with her. Suddenly he turned into an anime character, emitting an aura and feeling the power overflow from within. Everyone said they felt much stronger than before. Then our generous network handed his sister a royal class card. Now the girl could float, or even fly in space. That way, no one could kidnap her. Mamiya then gave the gift of the Elfer card, which would allow interaction with plants. When both activated the cards, the power surged through their veins. I swear, this kid turned into the Elon Musk of Doomsday for us. I've never seen anyone spend so much in a game. With its new class, Moo could hear the tree thanking them. As a strange energy enveloped the girl, a green genie-like creature with a crystal on its forehead appeared. The tree said the fallen branches were actually legendary weapons and they should use them. The King's Council congratulated Moo, and he gave all the credit to Yang Feng. The girl conveyed that she wants these tree branches to be used as divine weapons. Ours saw the branches were at level 3 and knew fighting them would be fatal. He stated that the soul he obtained would be very useful in battles. Finally, our unstoppable hero said the job here is done, and it's time to leg it. But the village chief insisted they stay for dinner, since they had saved their lives after all. The little girl they rescued also insisted that the food was finger-licking good. His brother and that fat guy were starving, so they begged Yang Fan for help. In the end, they all found themselves dancing around the campfire. By the way, the doctor said he wanted to stay this peaceful forever. But our boy had only one thing on his mind. He should enjoy the peace here, because once they hit the city, all hell will break loose and it'll be a bloodbath. The scene skipped ahead 2 weeks to the heart of Jiggan City. Unfortunately, their car had run out of gas, so they had to walk the rest of the way on foot. Moo said it's good practice since they're getting used to their powers. He wanted to find his family and prove he'd grown strong enough to protect them. Suddenly, King Shura sensed something was wrong. A zombie was heading their way, but Shura was perfectly calm. He jumped and started gliding with his new ability. He outfinished it with a single shot from a distance. Another creature headed toward Moo and the doctor. Moo activated the tree spirit and pierced the poor creature like a shish kebab. Another one jumped on Fatty. Moo warned them to be careful as the monster landed right in front of them. This was a level 2 zombie, and its presence in this part of the city was a bad omen. But Fatty didn't care. He activated his shield and bragged that there was nothing to worry about, saying that creature could never touch them. As the magic rained tears through the sky, the exploding heads show how the team has turned into killing machines over the last 15 days. Yang Fan enters like an emperor, surprised that his slaves, friends, leveled up so quickly. Right then, King Shura one-shots a zombie and snatches the crystal that popped up right under our boy's nose. Just as our hero is about to congratulate him, a sinister figure glides out from the shadows. He smells an ambush but keeps his cool. But her sister steps in like a total Terminator, saving the day by saying dying won't be that easy. Mio activates her tech glasses and marks the origin of the attack with sniper-like precision. When you shoots the girl waving a severed human head, the reckoning begins amidst the chaos. This screwball seems like he's about to join our harem. I mean, our team, but for now, he's on the enemy's side. When he starts foaming at the mouth and treats our people like a gang of thieves, Shura can't stand the nonsense and snaps back. But the girl is as stubborn as a mule, pointing her finger and claiming Yang Fan stole her crystal to stir up trouble. Turns out the lady says our guys swiped the loot from the level 2 creature she'd been grinding for 5 days. Right after, she pulls a drama worthy of a classic movie, claiming she needed medicine for her sick brother. Our pure-hearted Yuv immediately falls for this sob story and offers to take the girl in and show her around the city. Right then, our boy's elephant memory kicks in, and he remembers the 2 sisters with legendary power in this city. When he asks for her name, she admits she's Chu Xiaoman, acting as if she wouldn't even care if he killed her. Lightning strikes in Yang Fan's mind as he realizes this coincidence is like winning the lottery jackpot. When he asks if she's Chu Xiaoyan's sister, everyone, including Yi, gets jealous and suspicious, wondering how this guy knows her. With 1,000 kilometers between them, having this information brings all kinds of dark scenarios to Yen's mind. Our guy knows all too well from his past life's wiki knowledge how these siblings turn into destructive machines when they're together. Thinking that it would be a great loss for humanity if he doesn't win them over, he plays the healer card in his hand. When Xiaoman threw a fit saying he didn't trust gangsters like you, our guy just tossed a crystal worth a fortune out of thin air. The girl's eyes pop out when she sees the massive crystal in her palm. Because this piece is as rare as it gets. While experiencing the shock of, "Why are you giving me this? What is this thing?" He's just treating it like pocket change. Yu uses his smooth talk to gain the girl's trust and seal the deal. Now they have a live navigation device in the city. Xiaoman takes the lead and starts guiding them, but she's secretly planning to take them down once her brother is healed. Per soul, she thinks once her brother's back on his feet, birthing these creatures will be child's play. He knocks on the door as they approach their underground den. This is like a cave where post-apocalyptic punks gather. While Yang Fan's ring alerts because of a nearby merchant, a rather well-built woman comes out and demands an explanation. Asking where the girl was, they reach for their guns as soon as they see the crowd behind her. While Sinan quickly opens his shield in fear, Xiaoman bluffs that they're allies who helped kill the creature. When the leader's sister hears they are allies, she has to save face and say, "Then please come in." Actually, he's not happy about it at all, but he knows he has no choice but to act like a friend for now. As they slip inside, the leader asks Xiaoman how her wound healed so quickly. When Xiaoman points at our team and says they have a healer, the sister shuts it down, saying it's impossible. Even though she says a level 1 healer can't solve it, Xiaoman shows the bride crystal in her hand. He thinks they can trade for a real potion, but his sister tells him the bitter truth. Even this is not enough. The guilt-ridden guy next to them makes the mood even more depressing by saying it's all his fault. The family drama peaks as Xiaoman has an outburst, shouting at her sister why she's so eager to die. Watching this chaos, Yang Fan senses things are more complex than they seem and gives a sly smile. He says he can provide the crystals using the trading card, but the figure he heard is exactly 4,000 crystals. With those, "Do you have that much money?" looks. Ours pulls a crystal from his pocket and orders them to take me to the shop. Sister Xiaoyan can't understand why this stranger is being so generous and saving her brother. When she asks about his intentions, he just says he wants our honest, perverted sisters. And the girl's cheeks turn rosy. While the girls find the proposal romantic and act shy, Dr. Shoyu bites her lip, bursting with jealousy. Sinan, there are already plenty of women in the group. Even if he screams, "That's enough," our boy is sworn to add every female in the series to his collection. Then he dropped the bombshell. He said the other group are elemental mages, while our people are lagging way behind. While everyone was puzzled how this man knew secret info, Xiaoyan stepped in and said, "I can do you a favor." But first, he questioned the intention. Because over 30 gangs in the city chased these girls, but all of them failed. After mentioning they like staying independent, he said, "Follow me, let's handle that other matter first," and led the way. But Yang Fan turned back with a threatening look. "What we've talked about goes to the grave with me, understood?" He pointed to the corner and said the seller was there. Ours immediately realized they were facing a level 2 merchant. He wondered if there was an antidote, ordered the team to wait, and approached like a customer ready to loot the shop. Suddenly a virtual menu opened up before him, and a variety of strange, priceless items were laid out before his eyes.